right, good morning, everybody. Hello, welcome back to Pilates. When we're ready, we're going to begin standing at the back of our mats. As always, my name is Katie. I'll be your instructor leading you through class today. We'll begin our practice today with our ankles together, bringing our toes together. Let's take a little turn out of our toes, drawing them towards the upper corners of the mat. From here, we'll let our heels follow them out, so they're about hip distance apart here. From here, we'll get loose through the knees, taking a little bend through the knees here. And we're going to zip up through the thighs, squeezing through those glutes, and then bracing through our core by pulling that belly button back towards our spine, thinking about knitting our ribs together. From here, we'll take a couple rolls of our shoulders. And on this last little roll, let's set those shoulders back and away from our ears. We'll take this alignment into our warm-up for today, taking a hinge through the hips, drawing those glutes to the back of the room. Hands are going to travel away from our center here. Nice big inhale. We'll work those hands up to about mid-thigh. Back's going to stay nice and flat at this top point. Exhaling on the way down. Every time we're doing this, we really want to think about pacing this with our breath. Inhaling as we lift up, exhaling to melt on down. We're keeping this movement really fluid. Every time that we come up to this top point, we're keeping that back nice and flat, shining our chest up to the front of the room. Let's take two more here, waking up that posterior chain, saying good morning to those glutes, saying good morning to those hamstrings. Next time we come on down, let's send those fingertips the furthest they've gone so far. From here, we'll inhale into our big circle sweep, leading with our heart. Send those fingertips up towards the sky. Nice big exhale here. We'll hinge at those hips, send those glutes to the back of the room. We'll make a little tent with our fingers on the mat here. From here, let's inhale, drawing those left fingertips up towards the ceiling, lengthening through those arms. Nice big exhale. We'll melt those hands down slow. Switching sides here. Big inhale on the opposite side, lengthening through those fingertips. Getting a little stretch through the side body. Big exhale on the way down. One more each side. Big inhale to lengthen up. Think about drawing those fingertips up towards the sky. When we settle on down from this next one, we can keep those fingertips tented on down towards the mat. We're going to take a lift of that left heel, drawing that left knee on up towards our chest, and then lower through that left heel on over to our right side. We're just alternating through these heel lifts here. Taking big bends of the knees in towards the chest, waking up through the legs. And we're here for 5. This is a really great one to take at the pacing of your own body. So you can play around with this one. Maybe it feels a little nicer to hold that stretched position, or maybe it feels a little nicer to walk out a little bit quicker in between these movements. From here, let's come on back to stillness together. We're once again going to inhale into that circle sweep, leading with our heart. Send those fingertips tall. Nice big exhale here. Let's hinge at those hips, send those glutes to the back of the room. Hands coming on back down towards the mat. From here, let's walk those hands on over to the left-hand side of the mat, keeping a gentle bend through the knees as we come into our side body stretch here. Nice big inhale. Let's walk those hands back to center. Big exhale. We'll walk those hands on over to the right-hand side of the mat. Once again, keeping that gentle bend through the knees. Coming into the side body stretch on this opposite side. Give ourselves a nice little challenge to say hello to that low back today. And next big inhale, let's walk those hands back to center. From here, we'll let our hands find our elbows. We're letting the crown of our head come down heavy towards the mat. We want to think about letting gravity do the work here, pulling our crown on down towards the ground. We're letting ourselves get heavy here. Lower body's doing some work for us. Upper body's completely on vacation. We could start a little swivel of the hips here, moving side to side. Just giving our low back a little bit of love in this stretch. If we're having a hard time letting that crown of our head get heavy, we can think about resting our chest on our thighs, giving ourselves some additional support here, taking a little bit of a bigger bend in the knees. And we're here for 5. When we're ready, let's come on back to stillness together. We're going to inhale into that full circle sweep, leading those fingertips up towards the sky. Nice big exhale here. Let's hinge at those hips and those glutes to the back of the room. Hands coming on down to the mat. We'll walk those hands out towards the tippy top of the mat, coming into our plank position here. Option to stay in this full plank position, or option to join me down in this kneeling plank position. Either way, let's stack those hands underneath our shoulders. Draw our line of vision to that front of the mat. and brace through our core by pulling that belly button up towards our spine. As we bend through the elbows, lowering our chest on down towards the ground. Taking this as slow and controlled as possible, battling gravity down. Hands are going to stack underneath shoulders here. We're going to come into a chest lift series here so we can take a breath to exhale to prepare, melting into the mat. Nice big inhale as we peel our head and chest up off the mat, getting a little stretch through that low back. Exhale to melt now naturally. Let's take a couple here, going at the pacing of your own breath. Inhaling to peel our head and chest up off the mat, holding at that top point. Exhaling on our way down. Let's get 2 more here. Inhaling to lift. And exhaling as we lower down slow. We're going to add those legs on in this next one. So when we come on down to the mat, we're going to prepare here. We're going to take a squeeze of those glutes as we inhale to lift our head, chest, and legs up off the mat. Big exhale to melt down slow. Let's get 2 more here. Inhaling on the way up. Exhaling on the way down. Next time that we come on up to this top point, can you hold and meet me here? If it's in our practice, maybe we take a lengthen through those fingertips, drawing our fingertips and toes towards opposite sides of the room. If we want a little more, we can take a bend of those elbows, drawing our elbows in towards our waist, opening up through the chest. Taking a couple little movements through the arm here. Let's take 1 more W through the arms. Remember, we can melt those hands back on down underneath our chest. From here, pressing our palms into the ground, we'll come on up into our 4-point position. Hands will stack underneath shoulders here. Knees will stack underneath hips. We'll take a little tuck through the toes. Use our core here. Pull our knees up off the mat. Hold at this hover. Our knees are just an inch above the mat. From here, let's press those hips up into the air, coming into our downward dog. Letting our heels sink on down towards the mat. Drawing our chest towards our thighs. Here in this downward dog, we can take a moment just pedaling out our legs, drawing our knees in towards our chest. We may need to play around with the positioning of our downward dog here as we say good morning. We're here for 5. From here, let's keep those seat bones tall, coming on back to stillness. We're going to inhale, take a slow sweep of that left leg, drawing our heels up to the sky. Let's see if we can send those heels just a little taller. We're going to point our pinky toes down towards the mat, keeping our feet squared with the ground. See if we can send those heels just a little taller. Feel the power through your spine. If we want a little more here, we can take a bend in that leg, drawing our heels over our glutes, opening up those hips to the side of the room. Beautiful work. Next big inhale. Let's extend through that leg, point through those toes. Nice big exhale. Let's step that foot forward to be framed by our hands, coming into our low lunge here, keeping that back knee lifted. We'll take a big inhale here to open up same arm towards same inner thigh, sending those fingertips up towards the ceiling. Nice big exhale. We'll let those hands rain back down to the sides of our feet. Big inhale to sweep them back up towards the sky, drawing those fingertips tall. Nice big exhale. Sweep those hands back to the sides of our feet. We'll come back to stability here. We're going to find a little hip flexor stretch here by drawing our heels to the front of the mat and then back to the back of the mat, just settling a little deeper into the stretch. Working through those hip flexors. If we want a little more, we can draw our hands to our chest, continuing to keep that back knee lifted. Challenging those hip flexors just a little more here. We're here for 5. When we're ready, we'll come on back to stillness together, planting those hands to the sides of our feet. We'll hop or step that back foot forward to meet our front at the tippy top of the mat. From here, we'll come into our halfway fold, inhaling to shine our chest forward. Back's going to stay nice and flat at this top point. Exhaling on the way on down. Big inhale into our full circle sweep, leading with our heart. Send those fingertips up towards the sky. Nice big exhale here. Let's hinge at those hips. Send those glutes to the back of the room. Hands stacking to the sides of our feet. From here, we can hop or step those feet back behind us, coming into our plank position once again. From here, we're gonna brace through that core. Pull our belly button up towards the sky. Elbows come in towards the waist as we defy gravity down slow. Try to really battle gravity on our way down here. Working through those triceps. Once we're down here, hands are gonna stack underneath our shoulders. We can shuffle those legs on out towards the edges of the mat. And from here, we can draw those heels over to the left-hand side of the mat, and then over to the right-hand side of the mat. Just getting a little stretch through the low back here. I know this one can feel like kind of a silly stretch. It's really nice on the low back. We're here for 2. From here, let's come back to stillness, drawing those heels up towards the sky. We're going to press our palms into the mat, coming into our 4-point position once again. Hands stacking underneath shoulders, knees stacking underneath hips. From here, let's take a little tuck through the toes. Curling those toes in towards our center, we're going to use our core. Lift those knees up off the mat. Come into our little hover here. Find stability in this hover. From here, let's send those hips up into the air, coming into our downward dog. Drawing our chest towards our thighs. Keeping those seat bones pressed tall. From here, walk out that downward dog again. This time, if it feels right, maybe you want to draw opposite knee towards opposite elbow. Adding a little bit of that internal rotation into this movement. And we're here for 5. When we're ready, let's come on back to stillness together. We are going to take a slow sweep of that right leg this time, drawing our heels up to the sky, squaring our pinky toes down with the ground. Think about pointing those pinky toes down towards our mat. Can we send those heels just a little taller? If it's in our practice, maybe we take a bend of that leg, drawing our heels over our glutes, opening up those hips to the side of the room. Nice big inhale here. Let's extend through those legs, point through those toes. Big exhale as we step that foot forward to be framed by our hands, coming into our low lunge on this side. We're once again going to come into the world's greatest stretch here by inhaling to open up, same arm towards same inner thigh, sending those fingertips up towards the ceiling. Big exhale as we slowly rain those hands down. Inhale to lengthen once again, pointing through those fingertips. Let's exhale to rain those hands back on down, planting our hands to the sides of our feet. We're going to come into our hip flexor stretch on this side, drawing our heels to the front of the mat and then back to the back of the mat. Let's settle in just a little deeper here. If we want a little more, once again, we can bring those hands to our chest, keeping our back knees lifted. Challenging our hip flexors just a little more. We're here for 3. When we're ready, we'll stack those hands down to the sides of our feet. We can hop or step that back foot forward to meet our front, coming into our halfway fold next. Inhaling to shine our chest forward. Back's going to stay nice and flat here. Big exhale on the way down. Inhale into our full circle sweep, leading with our hearts. Send those fingertips tall up towards the sky. We can find a little good morning stretch here. Maybe a little rotation, maybe a little twist, whatever feels right for us this morning. From here, we'll inhale to shine those fingertips up towards the sky. We're going to take a couple rolls out of our wrists. Just warming up through the wrists. Next big inhale, we'll send those fingertips back up towards the sky. Let's reverse the direction of those wrist rolls. All right, that's going to wrap up our warm-up. We are headed down to the mat for our first track of the day. We're going to get some core in. We'll need our Pilates blocks for this one. Now is a great time to grab some water on our way on down. So for this one, we'll come on down to our seated position. We'll take that Pilates block somewhere handy here, somewhere we can grab it. Or take our hands to the nooks of our knees and gently lower ourselves on down towards the mat. From here, we're going to come into an imprinted spinal position. So in this imprinted spinal position, one thing about taking a little tuck through the pelvis, trying to lay our spine to that it makes that mark in the mat. So from here, we want to take our feet about palms distance away from our glutes. I'm going to take those Pilates blocks. We're going to set them up above our chest here. So we're going to begin here, taking a breath to inhale to prepare. On our next big exhale, we're going to come into a chest lift, sending those blocks over our knees and inhaling as we release on back. So we're exhaling up, drawing those blocks over our knees, inhaling as we release on back. Every time that we come on up, we want to think about pulling those shoulder blades all the way up off the mat. Beautiful work. Let's get 5 here. Want to keep our feet pressing into the ground here, grounding through our heels. Let's get 3 more. See if we can imprint that spine into the ground. Think about pressing that low back into the mat. We have 2 more. And last one. Next time that we exhale up to this top point, can you meet me here? We're going to hold these blocks at this lifted position. We'll march that left leg up into tabletop. Right leg's going to follow. Left toes tap down to high heels. Right heels tap down to high heels. Inhale as we release on back. So we're exhaling up, lifting one leg up into tabletop at a time, replacing those feet on down to the mat before we inhale to release back, taking this slow and controlled. Every time that we sweep those legs up, we want to think about lifting up slowly, tapping down slowly. Beautiful work. Saying good morning to that core. You are killing it. We are here for 3. We're still peeling those shoulder blades all the way up off the mat, closing that distance between our ribs and our hips. You are killing it. We are so close. Here for 2. Next time that we come on up, can we glue those ankles together? Lifting those legs up into tabletop. From here, we'll tap both toes down at the same time before we inhale to release back. Keeping this slow and controlled. Beautiful work. Let's get 5 here. We have 3 more. And last 2. Next time that we exhale up into this top point, we're going to glue those legs up in this tabletop position, holding here at this top point. From here, we'll inhale to release back. Exhale as we draw that block over our knees. Beautiful work. Keep those legs lifted up into tabletop. We are here for 5. Keep that low back pressing into the mat. Let's get 3 more. We're adding on into. Last one. Next time that we exhale up, we're going to set that Pilates block on top of the little shelf that we've created here. Let's just set that Pilates block there. From here, we'll take a big inhale. Sweep those arms back behind our head. Big exhale. Reach up to grab that Pilates block. Tapping it back behind our head. Exhaling back up. Set it on the little shelf that we've created. Inhale to stretch those fingertips back behind our head. Beautiful work. We are here for 5. We're going to set that Pilates block far onto the shelf that we've created so we're getting that full reach up. We're still pacing this with our breath. Exhaling to set that Pilates block up. Inhaling as we reach back. Exhaling to grab it once again. Inhaling as we tap it behind our head. Beautiful work. Let's get 3 more here. And last 2. We have 1 more. Next time that we set that Pilates block on top of our shins, We're gonna leave it here. We're gonna come up into our chest lift, kind of drawing our chest towards our thighs. From here, let's bring those hands back behind our head. We're gonna hold that Pilates block stable. As we inhale, extend through those legs. Exhale to pull it back to tabletop position. Beautiful work. Try to keep that low back pressing into the mat as much as possible. You are killing it. Our core should be very much awake now. Here for 3. Keep that Pilates block stable. Here for 2. We're going to come back up into our tabletop position in 1. Next time that we pull up to this tabletop, can you meet me here? From here, we're going to take those hands from back behind our head. We're going to stretch them towards our ankles here, alternating tapping those ankles. Beautiful work. We're finishing out here with a pulse in 5. You are killing it. Here for 3. We have 2 more. We're gonna pulse it out, stretching those fingertips towards our toes. In 1, pulse it out here. Try to reach our toes. Tiny crunches here. You're killing it. Here for 5. 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful work. You demolished it. All right. We can lose those blocks for now. We can give our core some love here by drawing our knees from side to side on the mat here. So we'll give our core a little bit of love. All right. We're going to break things up a little bit here by bringing those hands to the nooks of our knees. We're going to rock and roll on up. Go into a little miniature arm track here before we go into our booty track of the day. So we can grab some water on our way on up here. We're going to hit some biceps today. So we're going to come into our kneeling position. We're going to take those weights. We're going to come in to face each other to begin with. We're going to keep a gentle space between our elbows and our waist. Think about almost squeezing like an orange or an apple, whatever our favorite fruit is, right in between our elbow and our waist. From here, we're going to begin with some hammer curls. So we're going to take a sweep of those weights, drawing them up towards our shoulders. Lower down slow. The power of this movement is going to be fighting gravity on that way down. Beautiful work. Let's play around with the pacing a little bit. We're going to go 3 up. 1, 2, 3. 3 down. 1, 2, 3. Let's stay with this pacing. Beautiful work. Taking this slow and controlled. 4, 2. Next time we come on down to this bottom point, can you meet me here? From here, we're going to take a flip of those weights, drawing them up towards the ceiling. Coming into those true bicep curls. Pressing those weights up towards our chest. Lowering down slow. 1, 2, 3. Beautiful work. We are here for 5. Keeping those shoulders down and away from our ears. We're going to add on in 3. And last 2. Next time we come on down to this bottom point, can you meet me here? From here, we're going to take a flip of those weights, coming into that hammer curl, pressing up towards our shoulders, lowering down, slow and controlled. When we get to the bottom, we're going to take a flip of those weights, coming into those true bicep curls, alternating here. 3 up, 3 down. 1, 2, 3. 3, 2, 1. Beautiful work. We have 3 more here. We have 2 more. You are killing it. We're going to change things up on this next one. Next time we come to the end of that true bicep curl, can you meet me here? From here, we're going to meet down at this bottom point. Let's take a flip in of those weights. Once again, drawing those weights in to face each other. We're going to open up through those arms, pulling up to this 90-90. Lower down slow. Think about closing down those elbows towards our waist. Cinching down. So again, keeping this slow and controlled. You are killing it. Let's get 5 here. Let's get 4 more. And last 2. Next time we come on down to this bottom point, can you meet me here? From here, we're going to draw those weights in once again to face each other. We're going to take a press out to the front, pull back to those elbows at our waist. Beautiful work. We are here for 5. Pulling those elbows, skating them past our waist. We are here for 3. Take this slow and controlled for 2. Last one, come on up to our top point. From here, we're going to come into some halfways. We're pulling halfway back, all the way up. Halfways here. Here for 4. Work through those biceps, work through those shoulders. Here for 2. And last one, pull on back here. Beautiful work. Shake out those shoulders, shake out those biceps. You killed it. We're headed down to our glute track. Now is a great time to grab some water on our way on down. We'll once again need those Pilates blocks for this one. So we can have them, grab them some, bring them somewhere kind of handy here. For my folks at home, we're just using this for a little bit of additional height on one of those legs. So if you have like some sturdy books or something, like a very sturdy book, and you can set that underneath your heel, give yourself a little bit of elevation here. We'll take our hands to the nooks of our knees, coming back on down to our reclined position. We'll take one of those Pilates blocks. We can set it underneath our right heel to begin with. From here, we're going to take that left heel, drawing it up into a high heel position, just lifting those heels up off the mat. We want our ankles to be within palm's reach here, so we want to be able to touch them pretty easily. This is going to control how much glutes versus quads we're hitting. So if you want to hit a little bit more quads today, you can walk those blocks a little bit closer to the bottom of our mat. If you want to hit more glutes, you can think about it like a dial. Drawing that block in towards our glutes is going to give you a little bit more of those glutes. We'll take those hands, reaching them to the sides of our body here. They're going to give us some support today. We're going to keep that low back pressing into the mat. We're going to begin with some spinal articulations here, peeling our back up off the mat one vertebrae at a time, sending those hips up towards the ceiling. And we can inhale as we release on back, dropping those hips on down towards the mat. Exhaling to peel our spine up off the mat one vertebrae at a time, squeezing those glutes at this top point. Inhaling as we replace every piece of spine back on down towards the ground. We're here for 5 spinal articulations. Find a good image that works for you here. Maybe you want to think about peeling one vertebrae up off the mat one at a time. I like to think about fruit leather, like if you peel fruit leather off the package. You can think about snapping the pieces of a Lego onto a long Lego block. Let's get 3 more. We're squeezing those glutes every time we come on up to this top point. Beautiful work. Next time we come on up to this top point, can you meet me here? We're going to flatten out through the back here. So now we're just tapping those glutes on down, keeping our back nice and flat, driving those hips up towards the sky, squeezing those glutes at that top point. Beautiful work. We are here for 5. Squeeze those glutes at that top point. So we can exhale as we drive our hips up towards the ceiling. Inhale as we tap those glutes on down towards the ground. Here for 3. And last 2. Next time we come on up to this top point, can you meet me here? We're going to freeze at this top point. Squeeze through those glutes. We're going to take a lift of that leg that was in our high heel position. March it up to tabletop. Tap those toes back down before we release through those glutes, dropping our glutes on down towards the ground. Press those hips up towards the sky. March that leg up into tabletop. Tap those toes back down before we release on down. Squeeze through those glutes to keep our hips nice and stable. If somebody came and set your favorite drinks right on top of your hips, could you keep it nice and stable without spilling a single drop? We have 3 more here. And last 2. Next time we come on up to this top point, can you meet me here? We're going to march those legs up to tabletop. Take an extension of those legs, pointing through the toes. Back to tabletop. Tap those toes on down. Release through the glutes. We're adding to this time under tension. Sending those hips up. Marching that leg to tabletop. Extend through those legs. Back to tabletop. Tap those toes on down. Release through the glutes. Beautiful work. We are grounding through those legs on top of the Pilates block. You are killing it. We are here for 3. Squeeze through those glutes. Here for 2. See if we can send those hips a little taller. Next time we come on up to this top point, can you meet me here? We're going to lock those glutes out at this top point. Hold your glutes lifted. From here, we're marching that leg to tabletop, extending through the leg. March it to tabletop. Extend through the leg. Keep those legs, those glutes floating. Beautiful work. We are here for 5. Keep those glutes floating. Last 3. We have 2 more. From here, next time we come on up into that tabletop position, can you march that leg up into tabletop? We're going to pulse it out here. Draw that knee up towards the ceiling. Squeeze through those glutes. We're finishing out here with this pulse. Stabilizing legs should be complaining. Here for 5, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful work. Come on down. Shake out those legs. You killed it. All right. From here, let's give ourselves a moment, drawing those knees from side to side. Grab some water if we want some. And we're going to switch sides. So we're going to go right into our opposite side, setting that leg that was just working up onto our Pilates block. Once again, keeping those feet about palms distance away from our glutes if we want to hit more glutes today. Sending a little further away if we want to hit some more quads. We'll set that opposite foot up into our high heel position, and we're going to begin with those spinal articulations once again. So think about imprinting our spine onto the ground, hands coming to the sides to stabilize us. Let's peel our spines up off the mat, 1 vertebrae at a time. Lowering on down, replacing 1 piece of spine down the mat at a time. Beautiful work. Let's stay here for 5. Grounding through that foot on that Pilates block. Last 3. And we have 2 more. Keep those knees sending up towards the ceiling. Don't let them buckle out side to side. Next time we come on up to this top point, can you meet me here? We're taking that spinal articulation out of the picture, just dropping those glutes on down to tap on the mat, pressing them up towards the sky. Beautiful work. And here for 5. Send those glutes up towards the sky. Squeeze those glutes at this top point. Here for 3. Next time we come on up to this top point, can you pause at this top point, marching that working leg up into tabletop position. Tap those toes back down before we release through those glutes. Beautiful work. We're still squeezing those glutes at this top point before we march that leg up into tabletop. Keep this slow and controlled. We are here for 3. And last 2. Next time we come on up to this top point, we're going to march that leg up into tabletop. Extend through that leg, lowering it on down. Press it back to tabletop. Tap those toes on down. Lower through the glutes. Beautiful work. Keep this slow and controlled. We're bracing through our core. Are we keeping our hips nice and stable? We are here for 4. And last 3. Last 2. Next time we come on up to our top point, can we freeze at this top point? Just moving through the extensions of the leg, keeping those glutes locked out at this top point. Extending through the leg, pulling it back to tabletop. See if we can send those glutes a little taller. Beautiful work. We are here for 5. You are killing it. We are going to pulse it out in 3. Our stabilizing legs are talking to us, but you are killing it. Here for 2. Next time we march those legs up into tabletop, we're going to pulse out here. Draw those knees up towards the sky. Squeeze and unsqueeze through those glutes. Squeeze and unsqueeze through those glutes here for 5. And 3, 2, 1. Release on down. Beautiful work. Great job. Okay. Headed into our cool down. We'll stay on down towards the mat here. Grab some water if we'd like some. We'll send each of our limbs to a corner of the mat here. Here in this stretched out position, we want to take some rolls of our ankles. Just drawing our toes in little circles. From here, we're going to take a big exhale. We'll draw our pinkies towards our thighs. Nice big inhale, drawing our thumbs towards the ground. Big exhale as we draw our pinkies towards our thighs. Just taking a couple sweeps of the arms here. Let's pace this with our breath. So we can take a big inhale through the nose as we draw those thumbs towards the ground. Big exhale as we let all that air out of our lungs. Let's get one more here. Next time we sweep those pinkies towards our thighs. Can you meet me here? From here, let's take a bend of that left knee, drawing our left knees in towards our chest here. We'll use our hands, guide that knee in some little circles. Letting those circles get just a little bit larger as we go. From here, let's use our hands, drawing our knees across our body, coming into a little side body stretch here. We can let our shoulders stay pressing into the mat. We can let that hip peel up off the mat though. If we want a little more in the stretch, we can take an extension of this leg, keeping our knees lifted here. From here, let's pull it back to our starting position. Send that leg away from our center. We'll pull the opposite knee in towards our chest here, using our hands, guiding that knee in some little circles. Let's let those circles get just a little bit larger as we go here. We'll transition to some nicer cool down music here as we stretch those knees across our body, coming into that little side body stretch. From here, we can return those legs back to center. Pull both knees in towards our body. Coming into a little curled up ball position here. We can use our hands, guiding our knees in little circles here, building some momentum, giving ourselves a little massage to the back against the mat. We can roll out our shoulders, rolling out our hips. From here, let's walk our hands to the bases of our feet, drawing our heels up towards the sky. We'll come into our happy baby here, opening up through the hips, drawing those knees to the sides of our body. Here in this happy baby position, let's get back in touch with what it means to find some joy in movement. Our body is our constant companion in life. It's going to be with us through every day of our lives. So building a relationship that is not only functional in us, taking care of our physical health, but also rejoicing and celebrating in the relationship, the friendship that we have with our bodies. So we can have some fun with ourselves here by maybe rocking back and forth, pedaling those legs out, finding our inner happy baby right now. Not worrying about if the stretch looks silly, but just finding some joy in our movement and something we wouldn't normally do. From here, let's work our hands to the bases of our knees before we rock and roll on up. We'll let those knees fall to the sides of our bodies before we turn to find our tabletop position. Hands can stack underneath shoulders here. Knees will stack underneath hips. From here, we can take an exhale, drawing our spine up towards the sky, taking a little tuck through the pelvis. Find a little arch here in cat. From here, we can drop our belly buttons on down towards the ground, inhaling as we find cow. Let's take one more exhale into cat. And on our natural inhale, let's sink back into cow. From here, we'll return to neutral spine together, halfway between this cat and cow, bringing our ankles together, widening the straddle of our knees, sitting back onto our heels, and walking those hands out towards the tippy top of the mat. We'll wrap up our Pilates class here in this child's pose today. And I think this is a great time to set an intention for the day ahead of us. We get to begin the day together. So let's take this time to reset and prepare ourselves to step out into the world beyond this classroom. What does the truest, best version of ourselves look like today? What values do we wish to evoke? Let's get in touch with ourselves now and discover one word that we wish to be today. One pillar of ourselves that we wish to set forth into our conversations, into our actions, into our work, into our relationships. Maybe we want to be kind, maybe we want to be patient, maybe we want to be courageous. Think about one word, one pillar of ourselves that we want to focus on today. Maybe we want to be stable for somebody in our lives. Maybe we want to be studious. Maybe we want to be creative. Whatever it is, find that word, find that pillar. And on our next big inhale, let's pull that intention into our bodies, into every reach of ourselves. Let that value seep down to our toes, all the way up to our fingertips. And on our exhale, let's dispel all that does not serve us, any negativities or frustrations we may encounter today. We do not need to hold them. Let's take one more big inhale together, preparing to live a life of that value today. And we'll walk our hands in towards our chest as we slowly come on up. Thank you all so much for being in Pilates today. We tried something new today, switching over from our kind of remixed music over to some natural sounds. We might play around with it in the future so it's not a rough transition, but thank you all so much for being here. I know you have a fabulous Wednesday ahead of you. I am so stoked for you. Thank you for sharing this practice today, and I'll see you next week.